Experience pure Italian goodness, the real test of Italy.
Italian lifestyle, Italian design, Italian culture in London. This is the Italian Factor, and I am Gabriella, your host, joining you in this journey of Made in Italy.
Italian style.
Quite fashionable. Very chic.
Buongiorno. Italian people as being quite friendly, quite outgoing.
They have a slower pace of life.
Grazie, tutto bene.
It is an amazing country.
I think Italian food is really easy on the palate.
Italians are definitely beautiful, oh for sure.
In Italy there is a saying by Cecco Angiolieri, a famous 13th century poet, that says: "Sia benedetto chi per primo inventò il vino, che tutto il giorno mi fa stare allegro. God bless who first invented wine, which keeps me jolly all day long." This is what we Italians are like. We love many things, but most of all, we love wine. To talk about it, I've invited Neil Phillips, our wine tipster. Hello, Neil.
Gabriella, great to be here.
So, would you like to start the party?
Hey, come on, I think it's party time. We don't want to hesitate here. Let's get going, because I love just watching this. When you pour Prosecco like this, it's the sense of anticipation as well. It's absolutely wonderful. There's a tip. And you just...
This is a tip.
Yes.
The first tip.
Exactly there is.
Wine tipster, what does it mean?
Well, what I wanted to do, when I first started in the wine industry, one of the things I found when I've been presenting is I think we've made wine too complicated. Come on, let's just give people some tips that people can easily try out at home. Actually, in a restaurant situation as well, they can do that too. And people love that.
And if you could describe wine, the experience of drinking it, what would you say?
Sensational. It's absolutely magnificent. It's great, isn't it? It's a great occasion, but also what it does for me is it brings fantastic memories, you know? You can remember those wonderful, wonderful occasions when you've had a sensational wine, or it's just been a sensational time with a wonderful group of people. It's great.
There are days when I love my job, and today is definitely one of those days. Why? Because I get to drink, and I get paid for it. When I work out a way of getting paid to watch Fulham matches, then my life will be totally complete. But until then, here are our top 3 interesting facts about wine. Pouring wine into a wine glass is an art form, and the way to do it properly is you bring the bottle to the glass without the neck touching the glass. Otherwise, it makes an unpleasant sound. And then, the final drop, you don't want it going on the table, you want it going in the glass, obviously. And the way to do that is, when you're bringing the bottle back up, you turn it. Well, at least that's how us true gentlemen like to do it. Have you ever wondered why wine bottles have a capacity of 75 centilitres and not a full litre? Well, it's thought that this dates back to the 18th century when wine bottling began, where the lung capacity of the glass blowers that made the bottles was exactly enough to make 75 centilitres. No more, no less. It's not true that drinking multiple wines is wrong. You just have to do it correctly. Maybe drink 1 glass of each type, moving from the lightest through to the strongest. So maybe start with a Prosecco DOC, then move on to a light white, then a more structured white, onto the young reds, and then ending maybe with an aged red. But the important thing is to always drink responsibly.
Of all the wines produced in the world, there is one that I specifically want to talk about: Prosecco. What is the difference between a normal wine and the Prosecco?
Well, of course, the bubbles, Gabriella, but I know that's too simplistic.
It's too easy. It's
yeah,
too easy.
no, it is too simpler answer there. But I think it's the wonderful experience that Prosecco provides, and also remembering that Prosecco can only be produced from the northeast of Italy.
But in the UK and in London, you can unfortunately come across false Prosecco, not the original one. A friend of mine in Chelsea told me that he was served some on tap, something that would be unimaginable in Italy. Why is there such a problem with false Prosecco in the UK?
Well, I think one of the things is, if you go back, we've had the designated area for Prosecco since July 2009. before that, you could have Prosecco produced, you know, throughout Italy. But also what's happened is other countries have been producing Prosecco and not using the same grape variety, for example. So it is a challenge to monitor that, and also in terms of having Prosecco on tap. Because if I just get this bottle here of this wonderful Prosecco, it's got the DOC on this label here, and what it's doing is designating the exact origin of this Prosecco. So we can actually trace this back, Gabriella.
So by looking at that label, you can tell the difference between a real and a false Prosecco.
Absolutely. This is clearly specifying this is from the right region for producing Prosecco. So it could be Veneto or Friuli Venezia Giulia, for example.
How many stories are in a glass of Prosecco DOC? Lots. It can tell us about wine in the ancient Romans when over 2,000 years ago it was considered an elixir for longevity, as the writer Pliny the Elder wrote. Another is how it seems so light when holding it, but it's actually really rather heavy when you think of what's gone into making it. The process of producing Prosecco requires over 10,000 vineyards with over 20,000 hectares of Italian soil, which makes 500 million bottles of Prosecco a year. And a single bottle needs an entire kilo of grapes to produce. Now, that's a whole big world in such a small glass. And then it's elegance and refinement, which has earned it the title of Vin d'honneur at the Heritage Museum in St. Petersburg. It is served at government delegations all around the world on the most formal occasions, which, as a rule, I'm never invited to. Finally, it's versatility. Prosecco DOC is loved by everyone, especially women, for its fresh taste and low alcohol content. And it can be paired with so many foods from starters to desserts, which is why, across the world, Prosecco is considered the new black, fit for any occasion.
When is Prosecco consumed? In which occasion?
Oh, loads of occasions. Certainly, I drink it in lots of different occasions, and I know my friends and lots of other Prosecco lovers do as well. It's a point of celebration, but I think also what is important, we love bubbles in the UK. So we're going into a
We
bar...
love bubbles in Italy too.
Well, of course, yeah. Everywhere about Prosecco here. But I think you're going into a bar and people saying, I'm going to have a glass of wine, I'm going to have a glass of Prosecco, and that's great. And also, when people have got a party on, they love to showcase Prosecco in that way. Also, I think as well, let's just get a little bit romantic about this, isn't it? What a wonderful...
So not just to celebrate.
Not just to celebrate, no. I think it's a fantastic glass of wine to enjoy on lots of different occasions. And that's wonderful, that's wonderful.
What are the sales figures for Prosecco in the UK? Why do you think Prosecco has become so fashionable amongst British people?
Because I think it's appealed to such a big range of people. That's the wonderful piece about it for me. It could be people who want to, we love bubbles here, they love the style of the wine, it's so fresh, it's so easy drinking. But also for me, it's new people making their first journey into wine, and they love this style of Prosecco. Maybe for some of them, that slightly off-dry style of some of the Proseccos is really appealing to people. That fruitiness, that freshness, and also when you smell the wine, it just puts you in a really good mood, you know? I think that's great.
So, as Italians, we can be very proud of Prosecco, right?
Absolutely you can. You can jump up and down, you can celebrate, you can absolutely do this. Because
we keep on celebrating.
Yeah, we do, absolutely.
How many times has this happened to you? You're walking through London and it's like any other day, and you suddenly get a craving for some Prosecco. Well, in the words of Oscar Wilde, the only way to get rid of temptation is to yield it. Follow me. Giovanni. Hey, how you doing?
Really good, and you?
Yeah, very good, thank you. Do you mind if I interrupt what you're doing?
No,
is that okay?
Not at all.
First up, tell us, where are we? Tell us about this place.
We are Petersham Nursery, and for me it's fascinating because for once you can really appreciate good food and wine surrounded by a vegetable garden, surrounded by the outside, by you inside as well.
Yeah. So how did you get into the wine industry in the first place?
That's, my family, I'm 25 generation of winemaking.
So you are the founder of the wine cellar here at Petersham Nurseries.
I'm a co-founder with my wife. I set up family business, and we set up the cellar, which is we wanted to do something more than just a wine list. We wanted to do something that can engage. We would like to engage with our customers and showing the beauties of Italy.
Why would you say wine is so popular and so loved?
But because I said that I keep saying that the wine is the oil of life.
The oil of life.
Yeah,
I like that. The oil of life.
And it
Keeps everything going, right?
Keeps
Yeah,
everything
can't run
going.
without wine.
No.
So what sort of people come in here to Peacham Nurseries, to your wine cellar, and drink Prosecco?
That's what's amazing about Prosecco, because Prosecco, it's good for every generation. So you get younger guys that are just like starting to have some glasses of wine and they love Prosecco, and even wine experts.
And how do you serve Prosecco here?
But here, the ladies here love it with a bit of rose petals.
Rose petals?
Yes. This is a kind of a signature of
Well, you're in a
Petersham.
nursery as well, so you can literally just pick some up off the guys.
Oh, and in a lovely glass. I prefer to serve it in a glass which is a little bit slightly bigger than a flute.
I mean, Giovanni, I feel like the best thing we can do right now
Let's have a glass of Prosecco.
is try this Prosecco, because I've heard a lot about it. Okay.
There you go, man.
Cheers. Thank you.
Experience pure Italian goodness, the real test of Italy. Experience pure Italian goodness, the real test of Italy.
Prosecco, 3 words. Busy. Tasty.
Bubbly,
Light. Yummy. Celebrative. Fun.
sweet.
Tasty. Fabulous. Fresh. Flirty. Light. Italian.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to my favourite part of the Italian Factor. It's Strictly Come Testing. I'm Ivan, and I'm going to be talking to some Londoners to see how much they know about wine and Prosecco. Are you ready? Let's do this. Is it true that you can keep an open bottle of Prosecco fizzy by popping a spoon in its neck?
True.
No. False. Yeah. True. True.
False. There's no actual proof that this works. In fact, some studies say it actually does the opposite. The only way to preserve a bottle of Prosecco is to use a hermetic seal, or just drink it all in one go, like I do. Sorted. Should Prosecco DOC be served in flutes, and why?
Yes. True.
Yes.
No.
I think so.
Yeah.
False. I mean, you can drink it like this, but it's not recommended. They actually recommend that you drink it in an ample-shaped tulip glass because it spreads the flavours of the aromas. Don't say I didn't warn you.
I'm not going to pour you a full glass here, because what I'm going to do is get you, first of all, to look at the appearance of the wine. Because a Prosecco should always look bright and fresh, just like this wine looks, okay?
Bright and fresh.
Yes, exactly. Now, before you taste, because I know some people race in and they think, we're going to taste...
But first you have to smell.
Yes, but when you smell, get your nose right in there, Gabriella. Because what you want to do is get that fruit going right up your nostrils. Because the thing is here, you want to capture that freshness, something we talked about earlier, that floral character.
Freshness.
Yes, and also it shows this wine is really lovely and fresh. And when we taste, I want you to start making a noise for me, because you're going to start slurping, okay? Because what you're going to do, we've got wonderful palates, okay? We've got all these thousands and thousands of taste buds.
So you show me.
I'll show you. I always say to people, you just want to really pick all those flavours up from the wine and the length of finish. Length of finish is always a good sign of a good wine. This Prosecco has a lot of length of finish.
How do we pair best Prosecco with food?
Drink Prosecco throughout the meal. You're going to be having some sushi, you're going to be having some fish. I'm a huge fan for having Prosecco with food.
Another cheer.
Yeah, absolutely.
Hello.
Hey, I am.
How are you doing?
Not bad.
Good
Yourself?
to see you. Very good, thank you.
What a nice surprise. Welcome to my kitchen.
Well, thank you for having us.
Very happy to.
Now, you are the head chef at the Italian Embassy here in London. What does that entail?
Yes, I am, yeah. Well, being the chef of an embassy, it's a bit of a private chef. But let's say that the family I work with is a very large Italian family. So we host party from as little as 2 guests and up to 500.
Wow.
So we're going to prepare as I said, a traditional Italian dish, which is a Prosecco risotto. So Ivan, tell me, are you ready?
Yes, chef.
Okay, let's start peeling the onion then.
The onion, right.
Yeah, be careful with the knife.
Okay, I will.
So while you're peeling the onion, I'm going to start to roast the rice, very gently. We got some simmering stock over here, which is a stock made with chicken and all the trimmings for the pumpkin.
Oh, nice. Oh, I bet that's lovely, so it's got a bit of a sweetness to it.
Yes, yes it does. I'm now roasting the onion first.
Right.
Traditionally, the traditional method of cooking the risotto is to start to sweat the onion first with olive oil, and then you put the rice into the onion. If you want to roast the rice properly, you need to do it straight on the pan with no fat at all. See, I'm molding the rice.
Really?
This way, you can feel the rice when it's really hot. Can you open a bottle of Prosecco?
I can indeed. I'm good at that.
I'm sure you're good at it.
All right.
Woo! Woo! Nice.
Lovely.
Party time. Now I'm gonna test your precision.
Right.
I'm gonna do this because I don't want you to chop your finger off.
Okay.
So remember, all those trimmings we're going to save there because all the trimmings, they can become a nice puree.
Oh, nice.
And that will go as well in the risotto.
Can I try this? All right.
Now the fun began.
Yes.
Hot rice, nice Prosecco. We start with the cooking time. At this stage, you want to start mixing the rice. So the alcohol evaporates.
Yep.
And we can start the actual cooking time.
Okay, how's that?
That's nice. That's very nice.
It smells good already.
Yeah, can you can still smell the Prosecco in.
Yeah.
I won't do the risotto without onion. I'm just adding after it's cooked. You cut it very well, they're very tiny.
Thank you very much.
So, okay, Aga, we're almost there. So
Yeah?
I want you to be careful now with the stock. Just add a tiny bit, please. What I'm gonna do is add the pumpkin. Don't start to be messy now.
Sorry, chef.
Good. So mantecatura is the last step of the cooking of the rice.
Right.
Don't make a mess, please. And before tasting, as we said,
Oh, yeah.
let's touch Prosecco. This is what it's
You
called.
didn't trust me to do that, no?
Let's go in. And what did we say we're going to put on top?
A bit of the coffee.
A bit of coffee powder. Okay. And there we have it.
That looks great.
Buon appetito.
Neil, what do you think of Italy?
I think it's absolutely beautiful. I love Italy. I love travelling from all over Italy, in actual fact. And I just love the culture.
You already know where I'm going with this. Where is real Prosecco produced?
Right up in the northeast of Italy. This is why people need to go, because in the Veneto region and also in Friuli.
You said 9 areas?
There's 9
Can you tell
provinces.
them?
Yeah, nine provinces within. So you have Veneto, and then you have Friuli, Venezia, Giulia as the 2 regions, and you have 9 provinces within those. The main province is Treviso, and I think that is the key place for people to start their Prosecco journey from.
And how is Prosecco produced?
Very quickly, pick the grapes. You separate the juice from the skins, you ferment the wine. After the first fermentation, you've got still wine still. Then you put the wine into a big stainless steel tank, which can take lots of pressure, because you have lots of pressure in a bottle of Prosecco. What we add to the wine is some sugar and yeast. That starts the second fermentation, and what we do then is we get our CO2, we get our bubbles. And you can stop the fermentation to leave you some sugar to have, whether you're going to have a brut style or an extra dry style. When I was in the Prosecco region in January this year, I was tasting Prosecco from the previous year, pick the previous year, all in a few months. It's very quick, but you want to capture that freshness.
L'Italian Factor del Prosecco è rappresentato sicuramente da un lato dal territorio, che conferisce sia con il terreno che con il clima alcune delle caratteristiche peculiari del nostro Prosecco, ma anche l'arte del saper fare, il savoir-faire come lo chiamano i francesi, ovvero la capacità dei nostri produttori di interpretare questo vino a garanzia della qualità offerta ai consumatori sia nella fase di viticoltura che nella fase di vinificazione, ovvero dalla campagna alla bottiglia, il sapere interpretare un vino che è in grado di offrire il meglio dell'Italia al mondo. Il consorzio nasce dalla volontà dell'intera filiera di avere un momento di aggregazione che consentisse a loro di organizzare il sistema produttivo. Teniamo conto che l'attività del consorzio si dirige anche nella tutela del consumatore, ovvero della buona fede di coloro i quali quotidianamente attribuiscono il successo alla nostra denominazione scegliendo le nostre bottiglie. Un altro aspetto è la sostenibilità ambientale che con la bellezza del territorio garantiscono a coloro che vengono a visitare i territori di produzione di poter passeggiare in mezzo alle vigne in un ambiente incontaminato. Il Prosecco è l'emblema dello stile italiano, autentico, spumeggiante, immediato, amichevole, perfetto per ogni momento di convivialità.
Neil, I have a test for you to see how Italian you are. It's a very simple game. Repeat this tongue twister. 3 stecchi secchi in 3 strette tasche stanno. 3
stecchi
secchi in 3 strette tasche stanno. 3 dry sticks fit in 3 tight pockets, because all the words that I've said in Italian, they have the same roots. I mean, so when you pronounce them, they look the same, even if they are different, of course. This is why it's a tongue twist.
That was tough. That was tough.
But you did a very good job in repeating it. Very good. And now, the last thing, generally speaking, what do you think the Italian factor is?
It's that spontaneity, it's that energy. But actually also, it's because you have that providence as well. And that's really important for me.
Thank you for everything, Neil, for being with us. And as for us, there is still a lot of Made in Italy to discover. See you soon. Ciao.
3 stecchi secchi in 3 strette tasche stanno. Now it's your turn.
3 stecchi secchi.
3 stecchi secchi.
What does that mean?
3 stecchi.
3 stecchi secchi. 3 stecchi secchi.
Che stanno.
In 3 strette.
In the strette.
In 3. I'm fluent. Strette.
That's it.
Tasce.
Stano. 3 strecchi tasce stano. I should be Italian.
Experience pure Italian goodness, the real test of Italy.